In this video, we'll be going over the law of sines and law of cosines problems from the Unit 8 tests. So here we're going to use the law of sines to solve for side xz. So I'm going to put an x on side xc. And in law of sines, you match a side with an opposite angle. So here x would go with 59 degrees. So when I do sine a over little a, your angle always goes on top. So I would put sine 59 over side x. And I'm going to do the same thing on another fraction, so I need another angle and another side. So here I have angle 67, and that pairs up with side 44. From here, we're going to cross multiply. So to get x, you multiply the ones that are across from each other that don't have the x. So 44 times sine 59 degrees. And then you would divide by the one that's across x, which would be the sine 67 degrees. From here, we're going to plug this into our calculator at calculator.net. So 44 times sine 59. Here you have to close your parentheses, then divide the sine 67. That comes out to 40.97 or 41.0. Our next problem is also law of sines. For this time, we're solving for angle t. So right here, angle t is going to be our x. I'm going to pair that with an opposite side. Remember, your angle goes on top when you plug in. So here we have sine of angle x, and that's opposite side 12. Then sine, now we're going to pair another angle with an opposite side. So sine 98 degrees goes with 19.8. Here we're going to cross multiply again, but this one's different because x is not by itself. This time it's sine x. So I'm going to cross multiply the ones that aren't with the x or across from the x. So 12 times sine 98. And I'll divide the one that is across from the x, the 19.8. Here we want x by itself, not sine x. So we're actually going to have to move sine to the other side. When you do that, it's the opposite or the inverse, so you put that -1. And then everything else that was already there goes in parentheses. So this is what we plug into our calculator at calculator.net. So I'm going to start with sine -1. Then 12 times sine 98, close parentheses, divided by 19.8. That comes out to about 36.9. This next example, we're going to use law of cosines to find the length of side PR. When you're using law of cosines, I'm not going to use x. I'm going to use little a for the side that we want, or big A for the angle we want. And just like law of sines, your angle and side are going to be opposite each other. So side PR is the one we want, so I'm going to put a little a there. Big A would be the angle that's across from that. So here the 30 degrees. B and C would be the other two sides. Doesn't matter what order. So now I'm going to start plugging in. So I don't know A, so it stays A squared. But I do know B is 96, C is 72. B is again 96, and C is 72. Here I'm using parentheses to show that I'm doing 2 times B times C. And then cos of our angle, which was 30 degrees. I'll be plugging these in individually to the calculator. So I'm going to do 96 squared. That comes out to 9216. Then 72 squared comes out to 5184. Now I'm going to do 2 times 96 times 72 equals 30. That comes out to about 11971.9. Here I can combine all of these now. So 9216 plus 5184. Minus 11971.9. That's 2428.1. And then your last step, because you want a not a squared, would be to take the square root. So a is going to equal the square root of 2428.1. That comes out to about 49.3. This last problem is also a law of cosines problem, but this time we're finding the measure of angle B. So that's going to be our big A in the formula. The side opposite that will be our little a. The other two sides will be our little b and little c. So A is 5.5 squared, B is 13 squared, C is 12 squared. B and C were 13 and 12. We don't know angle B this time or angle A. I'm using a big A for angle B because of the formula. So now I'm going to start to make stuff smaller. So 5.5 squared is 30.25. 13 squared is 169. 12 squared is 144. Here I'm going to do 2 times 13 times 12 because I can't do the cosine since I don't know the angle. Here it's a little different, so I'm going to combine 169 plus 144. I can't subtract the 312 because it's attached to the cosine. That comes out to 313. Now again, here the 312 is stuck to the cosine, so I can't subtract it. So I'm going to have to get rid of the 313 first. I'm going to do that by doing a negative 313 to both sides. Here I'm left with negative 312 cos A. Now I want to get cos A by itself, so I need to get rid of the 312. Now they're not subtracting the 312, they're actually multiplying negative 312. So the opposite of that would be to divide negative 312. So this comes out to 0.906. And now we're almost done. Now we want to get the angle by itself. So we need to move the cos to the other side. And remember, when you do that, you're doing the opposite. So you have to do the inverse, or that negative 1. And now when we plug this into the calculator, it will give us our angle. So this comes out to 25.0.